Which of the following hormonal abnormalities is characteristic of sick euthyroid syndrome? Okay, so remember, what is it? Sick euthyroid syndrome. Name says a lot in medicine. So when you say sick, so you're already talking about some sickness or illness. Okay, then you are also telling me that the patient is euthyroid. That means patient doesn't have any signs and symptoms of hypothyroidism or even hyperthyroidism. But still, we find some biochemical abnormalities on the thyroid hormone test. That is why we are calling it as sick euthyroid syndrome. Right? We also call it as non-thyroidal illness. Means the thyroid hormone abnormalities are seen not because of the thyroid gland dysfunction or problems, but because of some other illness. Right? Typically, what happens is when you are ill, especially with infections, right? Infections, or for that matter, other illnesses. Right? There can be increased production of interleukin 6. Right? Interleukin 6 can interfere with thyroid gland activity, but not so much so that a patient will dip into a frank clinical hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism, right? So that is why we are calling it as sick euthyroid, because the thyroid status is finally normal. Now we see various patterns here, right? Like in some patients you may have low T3 T4, and you may have slightly elevated TSH, and you may have like various permutation and combinations are possible, but typically most common pattern that we see is where you have decreased T3, right? You have normal T4 and normal TSH. This is the most common pattern. So as long as you remember this pattern, right, you are going to answer the questions right, because all other patterns can also be seen in case of the sick euthyroid syndrome, but this is the most common pattern where T3 is low, T4 is normal, and TSH is normal. Okay, so which option becomes correct here? Low T3, normal T4, normal TSH. So option C is the correct answer. That is the most common pattern of sick euthyroid syndrome. That's it over here, guys. Thank you.